Hey guys, welcome to my Formula One drivers' standings predictions. As you can see, this is the 2024 lineup for the season. Verstappen, Perez at Red Bull, Hamilton, Russell at Mercedes, Leclerc and Sainz at Ferrari, Gasly and Ocon at Alpine, Magnussen and Hulkenberg at Haas, Sonoda and Ricciardo at Red Bull AlphaTauri, Bottas, Guan Yu Zhou at Alfa Romeo, Williams having the pairing of Albon and Sargent, Lando Norris and Piastri, probably my favourite lineup on the grid at McLaren, and then Stroll and Alonso at the Aston Martin. In 20th, I've put Hulkenberg. I just think Haas don't have the car to compete, and I think despite finishing in 16th, I just don't think Hulkenberg will have a great season with the car that he's got. 19th, I've put Guan Yu Zhou. Finished in 18th last season. Obviously, that was due to the two rookie drivers also coming in, and I just don't think AlphaTauri, like the same as Haas, don't have a car to compete this year, and I think it's going to be a tough one for Guan Yu Zhou. In 18th is the rookie driver Logan Sargent. He finished dead last year, and I've put him up 2 places. I just think Williams have a better car this year compared to the teams around him, like the Haas and the AlphaTauri, and the Alfa Romeo, and I just think he might have a good season, which I put him at 18th. In 17th is the other Haas driver, and I know this kind of contradicts that I said Haas will be bottom. I put Magnussen at 7th, because I like him. I think he's a great person. I think he's really good to watch and Drive to Survive. He is a good driver, but it's whether Haas has a car that can give him race points, and I just don't think they will have as many as he hopes, and that is the reason why I put him in 17th. 16th, Bottas, again, just like Guan Yu Zhou, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo's car won't be that competitive, and I just think he will struggle this season, and that's kind of the reason why I put him in 16th. 15th is Ocon. Finished in 12th last season with Alpine, 58 points, which is good. I've kind of dropped him down a bit because I think there's drivers that have come in, teams that have improved their cars, and I just think with the amount of DNFs he had last season and the aggressive driving style that he has, I just think there will be races where it doesn't go well, and that will affect his position and the team's performance very well. In 14th, I've put Alexander Albon. Okay, Williams don't have the best car, but we've seen it before, how good Albon is in the rain, how he can get that Williams into points playing positions, and even on the podium before. Obviously, with Mercedes' seat now being free for 2025, I won't be surprised if Albon goes for it, and if this season goes well, we could see him next to George Russell in the 2025 Mercedes leading team. In 13th is Yuki Tsunoda, kind of like Alexander Albon. He has a point to prove with obviously the jeopardy of Sergio Perez's seat. I think Yuki is a great driver. We've seen it before. He finished in 14th, so I've predicted him to go up 1 place. Great driver to watch. I think he's a very likeable character in the Formula One paddock, and I think with AlphaTauri getting a stronger car compared to what they had last season, I won't be surprised if he is up on the podium or nearer out it in some of the races this season. 12th, I've put in Gasly. I think he's the better driver in the AlphaTauri in the Alpine team. I think he's a great driver. Probably team leader in the Alpine pairing. I think compared to his teammate, he's a lot more composed, and has shown that he can drive very well. So I've put him in 12th, and that is only one position where he was down from last season. But I think he can score some points and even maybe get a podium if a race goes well or there's a safety car which can help him. In 11th, I put Lance Stroll. Obviously, Stroll had a great season last year, despite having broken his, I think it was his wrist, in the opener before the season started. He's got a great car, a great team in Aston Martin, and I think he can show what he replicated last season in this season. Unfortunately, he's gone down a position because of the next person that's joined the team for the full season, and that man is Danny Ricciardo. Good to have you back, Danny. The Honey Badger, obviously in the AlphaTauri Junior Red Bull team, has a lot to prove on whether he can still be as good as he was. But I think his motivation to get back to that Red Bull seat will carry him to some race podiums, some lots of points for AlphaTauri. Obviously, there is no guarantee that there will be a Red Bull seat, but I think he is probably the likely candidate to take over Perez if the seat comes available. So in 9th, I've got Oscar Piastri. Finished 9th last season. Hell of a driver. Hopefully McLaren will be up there in the race wins and in the constructors. I just think the gap from last season from Piastri with 97 points to George Russell in 8th is a bit of a too much gap for him this season. And I think with experience and more race points this season will help him become a great future champion. In 8th is Carlos Sainz, and now we all know that this will be Carlos Sainz's last season in Ferrari. I don't think it will be his last season in Formula 1 because I think he's an excellent driver. He has a point to prove because obviously he's not got a seat for next season. So it all depends on what comes available for him. I think it's kind of be hard because obviously Leclerc is staying, and that will mean that Leclerc will have team orders when they want to go for the race wins and pit stops and stuff, and that could cause frustration for Sainz. But I think he's a great driver, and I think he will be up there on podiums this season for Ferrari if they fix their reliability issues. 7th, George Russell. Great driver. I think is a bit too arrogant, but I think when you're driving for probably the second best team in Formula 1, you have to be that confident. He will be the team leader next season with Hamilton leaving. Whether that is too much pressure for him, we have to find out next season. But this season, I think Mercedes hopefully will have a better car than what they were given for the last 2 seasons. And I think that will probably help George Russell get more points and go higher in the driver's standings where he was from last season, who finished in 8th. 6th, Fernando Alonso. Now, obviously, he finished in 4th last season, and it's kind of sad to put him down. But I think Alonso, this could be his last season. He's getting on. He's the only man this weekend to have been at Dubai Ram 20 years ago when it came on the calendar. So that is a special for him. But I just think even him himself has said that he was thinking about retiring. So I hope he goes out on a bang, wins a race, get on the podium this season, and carry on what Aston Martin did last season with the tremendous amount of points that he provided to Aston Martin. In fifth is Sergio Perez, and now there's obviously controversy on whether Perez will be able to keep his seat for Red Bull next season. My personal take is I don't think he will be the second driver for Max Verstappen next season. I think Perez is a great driver, and there's no denying that. He has shown that he can win races. He has the maturity to be a second team driver for Max. I just don't think with so many DNFs, so many Q3 outs last season, I think that has put too much pressure on Perez. And I just don't think he will have the same drive as he did as last season. And there are rumours that the car isn't as quick and as good as last season that the Red Bull had. So I think it will make a more interesting top four in Formula 1 this season. In fourth is Lando Norris, probably my favourite driver on the grid, driving for McLaren. McLaren had a great season second half of the season. Their season started terribly. But I think if they can have a full great season, I think Lewis could even push up into third above the man that will be up next. Just with Lando, I think Young will be a Formula World champion in probably about 3 years' time. I think he has to move from McLaren if he wants to be world champion. But again, I think he could be a one to watch and take Hamilton's seat next season. In third, talking about Lewis Hamilton, final season at Mercedes is going to be a sad one. I think third is probably what he will be at his highest, and again that is down to team orders on whether Toto Wolff wants to give Hamilton the greatest chance at a farewell season, or whether they go, you're leaving, our man is George Russell, he is the number one driver for us. Well, we'll determine on how well Hamilton's season goes this season. I do think Hamilton will win a race this season. I hope he does. I think going 2 years without a race win would potentially put Hamilton in chances of retiring next season after his drive for Ferrari. And I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think Hamilton will finish third in the driver's standings. In second will be his teammate next season, Charles Leclerc. Great driver, young, Ferrari's prodigy, Ferrari's future number one driver for the next 5-10 years, if they can keep him. It all goes down to how reliable Ferrari's car is this season. They had lots of DNFs last season. They had to change their gearbox multiple times, which led to penalties. It all based down on reliability for Charles Leclerc. I think if Ferrari gives Charles Leclerc a winning car, I think he could definitely put pressure on Max Verstappen to win the World Championship this year. Now, finally, that means your race winner is Max Verstappen, of course. I think there is no brainer. Max has dominated the last 2 to 3 years in Formula 1. It all came when he took the World Championship from Hamilton on the final lap at Abu Dhabi. And I think this will be another dominant performance. I don't think it will be as dominant as last year. I think from what I've seen in practice in the Bahrain weekend this year, obviously qualifying and the race hasn't came out yet. But I just don't think he will dominate as well as he did last season. Not to say that he won't dominate the field again, but I just don't think. I think he will be more competitive for Formula 1 and for other drivers, and that is what we like. We don't like to see what happened last year with Max Verstappen winning 18 races out of 20. It kind of gives, like, after he's won half of them, it's over for the season for everyone, basically. So hopefully he can maybe win 14 races or so, and that gives 6 other race winners. But I think if you don't bet your money on Max Verstappen to win the World Championship this year again, I think you're not thinking right. I think Red Bull are just above everyone else, and I think it will be another year of Max Verstappen winning the World Championship. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I will try and get this up before tomorrow's race. I don't think I'll be able to get up before qualifying, but I did want to do it this before the first race weekend. So if you did, let me know in the comments down below what you thought, who you think will win the World Championship, who do you think will win the Constructors' Championship. I do have a Constructors prediction over on the channel, so go and check this out. But thank you for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you again soon. Peace out.